Call this meeting of the Providence City Council to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Aponte.
Here.
Councilwoman Castillo.
Present.
Councilman Correa.
Present.
Councilwoman Harris.
Here.
Councilman Hassett. Councilman Hassett is absent. Councilman Igliozzi.
Present.
Councilman Jackson.
Here.
Councilman Jennings.
Here.
Councilwoman Matos. Councilman Narducci.
Here.
Councilman Principe.
Present.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Present.
Councilman Salvatore.
Present.
Councilman Yurden.
Here.
Councilman Zuria.
Here.
You have 14 present and 1 absent. You have a quorum.
The invocation will be led by Councilwoman Joanne Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let us bow our heads and remember that we're in the presence of the Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, we are meeting today to conduct matters of importance to the City of Providence. Please guide our hearts and minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our fears may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today and always. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance will be led by Councilman Michael Correa.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please continue.
Call for special meeting. Communication from Council President Luis A. Aponte. Item 1, request filed with the City Clerk February 4, 2016, requesting a special meeting of the City Council to be called on the 9th day of February, 2016, at 6:00 p.m. in the City Council Chamber, 3rd floor, City Hall.
Received.
Warrant for special meeting. Item 2, warrant of the City Clerk to David Tassoni, City Sergeant, with return certification that he has notified each member of the City Council of the special meeting called for the 9th day of February 2016 at 6:00 p.m. in the City Council Chamber, 3rd floor, City Hall.
Received. Mr. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I move that we stand at ease until the mayor is escorted up to these honorable chambers. Second that motion, Mr. President.
Motion's been made and seconded. Council standing at ease. I would ask Chairman Igliozzi, Councilwoman Harris, Pro Tem Matos, and Councilman Narducci to please escort the mayor up to the chamber. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you and good evening, everyone. Buenas noches a todos. Mr. President, honorable members of the City Council, colleagues from state and local government, and our fellow residents of our great city of Providence. A little over a year ago, in my inaugural address, I said that we were going to build the new Providence, a city that works for all of its residents, a city committed to innovation, and a city that provides opportunity for all. Over the past year, we've come a long way to achieving that vision. And while there are still many challenges, I'm proud of what we've accomplished together to position Providence for a better future. And make no mistake about it, Providence is beginning a resurgence. This coming year, this year will have more construction projects than the city has seen in decades. It will see our school department restructured to better meet the needs of teachers and families. It will see a city hall that becomes known for being efficient and for more responsive customer service. And this year will see us tackle our financial challenges head-on with an eye towards the long term. Now, before we get to the future, yesterday, our city laid to rest an individual whose mark on the city of Providence will never be forgotten. To the late Mayor Cianci, may his soul eternally rest in peace. And I ask you all to join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Mayor Cianci and I are among just a few individuals who have had the distinct honor to serve as your mayor. And only someone who has been mayor can truly understand why this is the best job in the world. And that's because Providence is the best city in the world. Think about all that makes Providence so special. Providence is already known as one of America's great cities, and we've been recognized by both national and global publications. GQ magazine calls us America's coolest city. Architectural Digest called us the country's best small city. Travel and Leisure named us America's favorite city, and the New York Times lists us as one of 52 places to visit in the entire world. For a city of 180,000 people, we have an Ivy League university. We have the best design school and the best culinary school in the entire world. And we have 5 other colleges and universities that altogether educate 35,000 students in our city each year. No other city in the country can match us in higher ed. And when it comes to arts and culture, again, we hit it out of the park. Anchored by RISD, surrounded by historic architecture, and blessed with venues like PPAC, the Vets, and Trinity Rep, Providence is pound for pound the very best when it comes to arts and culture. We are the city of Waterfire. We are the creative capital. And this year, we will have the 2nd annual PVD Arts Festival, what I believe is already the biggest and the best outdoor music festival in all of New England. In so many ways, Providence offers a quality of life that's unmatched. Our food and restaurant scene is already top-notch. We have great neighborhoods. We have great diversity. We have great diversity and the greatest people. And to top it all off, we have a college basketball team that's been ranked at the top of the rankings all year, and it's filling up the dunk on every night they play. Providence is alive with activity. Providence is alive with activity, and as we look to the future, we know we have so much to build off of here in our city. Tonight, I will share with you how we will lead Providence's resurgence in the months and the years to come. Through innovation, through fiscally responsible leadership, we are creating and building a city with more jobs, with better schools, and with more opportunity. And in keeping with our legacy, we will strive to be the very best at everything that we do, and we won't be satisfied until we achieve it. Providence is turning an important corner. We were hit hard by the Great Recession, and we've been too slow to recover. But everywhere you look, there are encouraging signs. Businesses are hiring, people are buying homes, and developers are beginning to invest and build in Providence once again. We've built a foundation for the city's resurgence, and it's already paying off. I created a business concierge position to help businesses who are thinking of investing here, and we standardized incentives to help them build and grow their businesses here in our city. Working with the building trades, with the City Council, and with the state, we will be breaking ground on new downtown hotels, on new apartments, and we will finally begin building the innovation economy on the 195 corridor. Let's give a big round of applause for that. Because of the steps that we're taking, the upcoming construction season will be one of the busiest seasons that the City of Providence has seen in decades. We currently have more than 30 major construction projects worth almost $500 million that we expect to break ground in 2016, and there's even more on the horizon. People are investing in Providence because we're heading in the right direction. The people of Providence are ready to see the cranes in the skies and workers on the job. We are ready for a resurgence, Providence, and that resurgence begins now. And we're not just building buildings, we're building the economy of the future. And to do so, Providence must be forward-looking, so that we're playing to our strengths and investing in industries where we have the capacity and the talent to lead. From industries like food systems and healthcare to creative design and the blue economy, we are bringing our institutional partners together and putting a stake in the ground and telling the world that we are going to be best of breed in these sectors. And if you're an entrepreneur or a business leader working in any of these fields, Providence is the place that you want to be. And this Providence resurgence won't be felt only downtown. In fact, it's going to strengthen our neighborhoods throughout the city. Vacant and abandoned, blighted properties have been hurting our communities and bringing down the quality of life in our neighborhoods for far too long. This fall, I launched the Every Home program, which over the next 6 years is going to revitalize and rebuild every single vacant and abandoned home in our city. We're taking abandoned and blighted homes back from absentee landlords and from banks and putting people to work renovating them. Every Home is building stronger neighborhoods, increasing property values, creating more affordable homes, and it's creating jobs in our neighborhoods. And working with the City Council, we've created more tools to encourage investment in distressed neighborhoods throughout our city. And this is important because a recent report by the Brookings Institute found that Providence has the 4th highest level of income inequality in the United States. 4th highest level of income inequality in the United States. And this widening gap between those at the top and those struggling to get by is holding our city back and preventing us from growing a strong middle class. We all want a rising tide, but a rising tide can't just lift the yachts. A rising tide has to lift all boats. And that's why my administration is working to create jobs that increase incomes for hardworking families. We need more good-paying jobs like the ones created by Every Home, where we're working closely with local, minority, and women-owned contractors to ensure that they're helping to rebuild our neighborhoods. We're transforming the Department of Workforce Development to provide training for our residents who want to skill up and qualify for new jobs. We funded a grant program for the Rhode Island Black Business Association so that it can lend to small businesses. And I have worked with community groups in our city to create a Latino Merchants Association on Broad Street. To have a resilient economy, we must invest in our workforce, we must invest in small businesses, and we must invest in our neighborhoods. And most of all, we have to invest in public education. I am a product of the Providence Public Schools, and there are many other kids I know are out there with a whole lot of potential who are only asking for a chance. Students like Francois, whom I met just recently when he was presented an award for a paper he had written about Dr. Martin Luther King. Let me tell you something about Francois. Francois came to Providence when he was 7 years old. His parents are from Tanzania, and they're refugees who came here, just like my family, in search of opportunity. He came to school without knowing English or without knowing what to expect. He said that he recalled being scared and caught in a system that did not always seem fair or on his side. But he says he found friends and started realizing that he enjoys learning. Francois is one of the smartest, kindest, and most mature young individuals that you're going to meet. He tells me that he wants to help people and teach them the lessons that he has learned. Lessons like that if you never give up, you will achieve your goals. Francois' friends tell him that with his knack for communication and with his inspiring story, that he should run for mayor. His mother, on the other hand, thinks that Francois should become a doctor. Now, I encourage everyone to follow public service. But Francois, for the next 7 years, don't you run for mayor. I agree with your mom. But all jokes aside, we just learned that Francois will be attending Classical High School in the fall. And so let's join in congratulating him on what he and his family have accomplished. And let's pledge to do more to help him realize his life's goals, whatever they might be. Francois, please stand. Francois, your success inspires us all, so keep it up. Now, every week, I visit at least one school in our district. I talk with our committed teachers from the Providence Teachers Union, with our administrators who are always hustling around, with our students who are like sponges eager to learn, and with our parents who will do anything for their children. I listen to their feedback, I ask them about their hopes and their concerns, and I reassure them that maintaining the status quo is not an option. Now, when I took office, one of the first things I did is I ordered a full review of our school department. And this review found that central office had not evolved to meet the new needs of our kids and our families. I took action, and I overhauled the office. We're shifting our resources out of central office and putting them into the schools where they belong. This overhaul is going to bring our school department into the 21st century by giving us more capacity for both data analysis, and it'll help us build evidence-based measures of success. This overhaul is going to make us a more innovative and a more responsive district, and more responsive to the needs of parents and students, including a multilingual call center that's been such a need in our district. And these are big changes, and they would not have been possible without our school board, our clerical workers, our superintendent, and the city council. To all of our partners who put the education of our students first, I say thank you. I want our district to be on the cutting edge. We're piloting a mastery-based learning initiative so that students' education is personalized and that they're being challenged at whatever level they find themselves at. We're developing full-service community schools whereby our school buildings are becoming resiliency centers that bring our neighbors together and they provide the social and emotional supports that our students and families need. We're enhancing career and technical education to provide multiple pathways to success. And lastly, we're investing in our school buildings because every child in our city deserves to study in a classroom that inspires them to learn. And we're spending $20 million over the next 2 years on repairs and maintenance, and we're developing a long-term plan to invest even more in our school buildings. We're already taking so many important steps, but I'm going to need everyone's help to reach our goals. That's because the classroom is not the only place where we prepare our students for success. Making sure our students enter school ready to learn is just as critical, and we're expanding our opportunities for children to grow even when they're not in school. We're quickly expanding our Providence Talks program, an innovative partnership with Bloomberg Philanthropies. And this program helps us prepare our youngest residents so that they're ready to learn by the time they begin kindergarten. With new leadership and with community outreach, we've enrolled more families in the past 4 months to Providence Talks than we did in the previous 20 months. We need to continue doing this and expand opportunities for pre-K, but we need to do so much more. What we need in Providence is a bold vision that will position us as a national leader in education, and we will accomplish this with a 12-month learning calendar. A 12-month learning calendar. Whether it's in a school building, a library, a rec center, somewhere else in the community, or online in their rooms, our children should have access to learning tools at any time of year. But our research shows that low-income students are falling behind their peers because of summer learning loss. Without access to summer enrichment activities, our kids lose as much as 2 to 3 months worth of learning each summer. While other kids are moving forward, this achievement gap only grows wider. And that's why last week, joined by dozens of education leaders, I announced a Summer of Learning campaign that will help us close the achievement gap and turn the summer from a time of learning loss to a summer of gain. We will work collaboratively, we will be bold, and we will lead the nation in year-round learning. And this spirit of innovation that we're bringing to our schools is also in place here at City Hall. People have told me, that they've felt frustrated because they pay so much in taxes, but they feel as though they don't receive high-quality city services in return. Well, that's all changed. I created the City Innovation Office, and this office is making us more efficient, more responsive, and it's ensuring that your tax dollars do not go to waste. I want to share with you a story about why our innovation initiative is so important. In a recent training exercise, an employee was asked why she had to send letters via certified mail. And she asked, "Why do I have to send them when I know they're going to abandoned properties?" She explained that she had been trained to use certified mail since she began the job, and no one had ever questioned it. Well, after our law department reviewed her question, it turns out that a first-class stamp is all that's required. And it also turns out that other departments are doing the exact same thing. They were sending certified mail. But because of this employee's question, and after the law department's research, we've changed our policy, and we are now sending first-class stamps, and we are saving more than $40,000 a year because of this change. I'd like to ask Monica DiDonato to please stand on behalf of the city. Maria, please stand. I told Maria she would have to give a speech after that. But on behalf of the city, Monica, I thank you and your colleagues at Local 1033 for your hard work and for everything that you do for our city. And this is the spirit of innovation. It's why we are engaging all of our employees, and that's why the folks on the ground are the best equipped to find improvements. Innovation is working. We're seeing the results. Aside from the Innovation Office, I've also brought in new leadership to the Department of Public Works, to the Parks Department, and to the Center for City Services. And I did this so that we can execute and plan better. This year, we've had 3 major storms so far, and I have received, I tell you, nothing but positive and glowing feedback because of the city's snow removal. To Director Knight, Superintendent Nilsson, Director Bailon, I say thank you to you and to your entire crews for showing the city that they should expect nothing less than top-notch service. Thank you for the work that you do. And beyond that, we're training every single employee on customer service. We're incorporating technology to make our systems run more efficiently. We're empowering our employees to find those efficiencies, and we're just getting started and we're just hitting our stride. Providence is emerging as a global leader when it comes to city innovation, and we were recently recognized by Bloomberg Associates as one of 35 cities in the entire world for the work that we're doing around innovation. It's happening right here in City Hall. It used to be said that you had to know a guy to get things done in City Hall. The message I want everyone to hear is that now you all know a guy in City Hall. All you have to do is dial 421 City and you know a guy for great services. So we're constantly striving to do more with less and to root out waste. Especially in light of our fiscal challenges, we have to seek out every responsible opportunity to save, and we must keep a long-term perspective in mind. Providence is one of America's greatest cities, but we will only succeed when people believe in what we're doing, and that means having the highest standards of ethics, transparency, and integrity. Upon taking office, I impaneled the city's Ethics Commission, I appointed a municipal integrity officer, and I ensured that all municipal board and commission members receive mandatory ethics training. We're sending a clear and strong message that there is no tolerance for corruption and there's no tolerance for abuse of the public trust. Under my administration, we will establish ethics and transparency as a hallmark tradition in our city. And now our city, it has its share of financial challenges, but I am committed to being fiscally responsible to fix the city's finances. I refuse to rely on one-time fixes, and I refuse to kick the can down the road. It's critical to ensure Providence's long-term stability and to set the city up for success. When I took office, I inherited a structural deficit that would have reached $85 million by the year 2021, and I immediately took action. We bought our street lights back from National Grid, and this saved us $15 million over the next 10 years. We renegotiated our contract with Roger Williams Park Zoo, and this is saving us $9.5 million over the next 20 years. We restructured the fire department in a move that will save us $5 million annually, and we expanded revenue by $2.5 million per year without raising taxes. And also, I've negotiated 2 cost-neutral contracts with our unions for the fiscal year 16. My administration pursued and received one of the largest grants in history from the National Resource Network, and they're currently working with us to help us develop a 10-year fiscal plan. This will allow us to make important investments and help us ask the important question of where do we want to be tomorrow, and not just how do we get through today. Working together and making responsible decisions, there's no challenge that we can't overcome as a city. I love and care deeply about every single neighborhood in Providence. And I know that in order to have a resurgent and resilient city, we need to make sure that our communities stay healthy, safe, and strong. I've had the great pleasure to see the work of our men and women in uniform over this past year. And although I've had my disputes with the firefighter union, I've seen the work of our firefighters. I've seen the work they do each day. And let me tell you that we have the finest fleet of firefighters that any city can have. And on the police side, the truth is that there might not have ever been a more difficult time to be a police officer than today. We've been fortunate. We've been fortunate that we haven't had to deal with many of the issues that other cities have had to endure these past couple of years. We've been fortunate, but it hasn't been simply luck. Our police officers are committed to building those relationships in our neighborhoods, to being coaches and mentors in our middle schools, and to being partners with our community groups. I thank all of our men and women in uniform for the service you do to our city. I've taken action to address gun violence, and addressing gun violence at both the local and the regional level. We're also bringing nonviolence training to our public schools. We've dramatically expanded our summer and fall programming in our rec centers. We've reestablished Providence's Midnight Basketball League, and we provided 350 summer jobs for our young people last summer. We have more programming than ever in our city parks, and along with the Rhode Island Foundation, we're making huge investments in making Roger Williams Park the best urban park in New England. Providence has great bones. Providence has great bones, and our city is ready for its resurgence. The foundation has been built, and we're poised to see great growth. As I mentioned at the outset, we will strive to be the very best at everything that we do here in our city. But to reach our ambitious goals, we have to be bold and we have to work together. I believe we can build the economy of the future, but we have to lock arms and make sure that no one is left behind. I believe we can have the best education system in the country, but we need to marshal all of our partners and bring them to the table. I believe we can be global leaders in innovation, but we need to engage all of our employees. And I believe that when we come together, we are mightier than any of the challenges that we face. When Providence plays to its strengths and is united as one city, we can accomplish any goal. And I know that with the phenomenal partners we have in government and throughout the city, Providence's best is yet to be seen. Thank you all, and God bless.
Ready? Madam Clerk, please let the record reflect that Councilman Terrence Hassett is present.
So noted, Mr. President.
Mr. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Seeing there's no further business to come before this honorable body, I move adjournment. I second that motion, Mr. President.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Any opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.